YouTube, and a warm welcome to the Essentially Crypto channel. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm your host. Now today, we're going to look at the secret interview. Well, I say secret interview, it was an interview that was just recently published, but it's been taken down since. So, therefore, I'm going to give you my views on that secret interview in case you didn't get to watch it. Just some of the things that I picked up on, and yeah, we'll get to that in a few moments' time. But before we do anything, obviously, we've got a bit of housekeeping to do, so let's go over to the main screen, shall we? Let's bring it down, and let's have a look what's going on in my world of NFTs and crypto today. First off, we've got the High Society. They did mint the other day, so if you missed the mint, then get on over there. They do still have some left. They didn't sell out completely, but you know, I got a good feeling about this team. As I said, the art is absolute fire, so therefore I think that they're going to sell out very, very soon. But if you haven't had a chance to get over there, make sure you jump onto the High Society. You can find the links in the comments below. They had a bit of a false start, unfortunately, which affected sales quite a bit from what I can gather, because basically what happened was they put out the thing to be minting and something happened, but the development team was actually in a different country, so they were sleeping at the time. So the time that they set for the mint actually had to be postponed and put back, and that really, you know, when things like that happen, as we know from Ecomi and Veve, when things like that happen, unfortunately, it puts bad vibes in people's minds, and then they decide that they're not going to invest or whatever. So therefore, they didn't sell as many as they would have liked to, but I'm pretty sure they're going to sell out at some point. So therefore, if you haven't got one, then make sure you get over there. There's a fantastic amount of utility that is coming with this thing, including extra NFTs there later on, mining Bitcoin as well. I don't know how that works, etc., but you know, it sounds pretty crazy to say the least. So therefore, if you haven't got one of those, then do jump over, and of course you support Reslone as well, who is a member of the Omi and Veve community, so one of the Omi homies, shall we say. So let's move on to the next thing, shall we? And that is this, lots of bots accounts getting clipped today. This is from Veve Scalper 420. This was on Reddit. It was actually popped up in my my little group of VVOGs. It was in there, and there's quite a few of them in there. I can't remember who it was who put it up, but it was in my little group. But also it was on Reddit. So I went and found it on Reddit just to make sure, and it basically is Veve Scalper 420. Apparently is a botter basically, and they're coming out and saying that Veve are basically destroying the bot community, which is absolutely brilliant. No one shouldn't be laughing, but you know, it's great. And it says that our group has been destroying releases, which makes sense because even 30k comic drops have been impossible to hit. Today we had normal success, around 700 checkouts. So they're getting 700 checkouts in a day. That's absolutely crazy. It makes you really want to get a bot, doesn't it, basically? But afterwards we checked out our accounts, and it seemed like 90% of the ones that copped got account disabled. So there you go. So Veve are doing stuff about it, so bots beware is all I can say. Veve are getting on this, and they are making sure that they disable bot accounts. You probably notice in the marketplace as well, there's like little cell walls of bots where they've got, like, normally it's a specific way of writing the name, like a name and then a number, and then the account will be hidden or whatever. Just make sure that if you are buying from, you know, from the market, then make sure you avoid buying from these accounts, because then that way, you know, you don't support the bots. However, I understand that if it's the lowest price at the time, then I guess that's the one you're going to go for, because as long as you buy your collectible, then it doesn't matter. But then at the same time, if there's another one in its wake or near it that's got, you know, like an extra 10 gems or something, then I would encourage you to buy that extra 10 gems. That's personally what I'm doing. If I buy anything from the market, I try my hardest not to buy from bots. I try my hardest to look into their collectibles and see what they've got, so therefore I can make an informed decision. But of course, that doesn't necessarily mean that anyone with a name and a number at the end of their thing is a bot. For instance, Hello K himself doesn't have Hello K in the app. He has something else. I'm not going to say what it is, but he has his name and a number at the end as well. So therefore, it's very possible that there are people out there with names and numbers at the end, because that's just the way people work, isn't it, in the general world as well. So I'm not saying discount all the ones with names and numbers. I'm saying try and go into their profiles, have a look at what they've got on there, and just try and make sure they're not a bot before you buy from them. But of course, if you've got no choice because there's a massive sell wall and you want to get that thing before it goes up or something, then I completely understand that you're supporting the bots. But bear in mind that the more we support them, the more they will come into the community. And to be honest, I suppose it kind of makes the collectibles go down in value as well when you've got a lot of bots, because what will happen is they'll just shove them on the market for cheap. And what's happening as well, I don't know if you noticed, but they're creating massive sell walls. So they'll create like 10 or sometimes even pages of these things where they've got them from the botting, and they'll create a sell wall. And then what happens is when you come in and you go, oh, I want to list my thing, you list it lower. And then somebody else lists it lower, and then what they'll do is they'll buy up those ones, and then they'll keep that sell wall going, and then what they'll do all of a sudden, they'll just remove that sell wall massively, so the price will jump up like to, you know, I don't know, just say it was at 800 or something, the price will jump up to like 1,500, and then they'll put all of their ones back in again, and the same process happens again. And what will happen is people will FOMO in, buy it at 1,500, and then they'll put that sell wall back in again, and they'll keep on doing that until they've sold out. So try and avoid buying from bots, and that way you don't get caught up in the games they're playing. Essentially, as you can see here, it said I personally had 3 checkouts, and all 3 of those accounts got banned. So therefore, we know Veve are doing something about it. Is it going to happen all the time? Well, I don't know. I don't know what the happen is. With bots, the thing is that once they've got through one thing, then it's like whack-a-mole, as they said. The bots pop up again in another place, and they figure out another script to get around it. So therefore, is it ever going to be gone? No, probably not. Will the waiting room make a difference? Probably, but also they could just make lots and lots more accounts, and therefore your chances still go down either way. So I think it's something we're just going to have to get used to. They are spending thousands and thousands every month trying to make sure that it doesn't happen all the time, but they can only go as fast as the people who are making the software. Essentially, they have to find out what the new tactic is, then they have to destroy it, and that. But hopefully what will happen is that so many people will lose accounts because of the botting that there just won't be as many anymore. And they do say that it's only 1% of users. Now, there's a lot of things that pop up on the internet all the time about bots, and we think, there's bots everywhere. But if it's only 1%, but you've got to think about how many users there are, that 1% is still quite a lot. So, but it doesn't stop normal people getting the drop. I haven't been able to get the drop this week, but I know a lot of people who have, and well done to you if you managed to score yourself something. Today's drop is the stamps. So therefore, if this video goes out before them, then hopefully you manage to get them. If it doesn't, then you'll see it afterwards anyway. So, but anyway, I digress. Let's move on, shall we? That was all about the bots. So let's move on to the next thing, and that is this. Mr. Dane, I was going to call him Mr. Dane, Author Down Under, M. Dane, Author Down Under. He put up this little video, basically. Now, this video has been circulating a little clips of it from Alfred Kahn. And I've been watching some of those little clips, but he actually finally released the whole entire video. Now, I'm not sure how long it was there for, but I will say I got pretty much all the way through it, and then I had to do something with my son, and then when I went back to it about an hour later, it was gone. It was no longer on the internet, and I tried different ways to try and see if I could figure out what it was, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to get hold of the video. So if anybody knows anyone who's got the entire video, maybe you downloaded it straight away, then feel free to drop it in my email or whatever, let me know. But from what I can remember, I thought I'd tell you some of the things about the video itself in case you didn't see it. Now, it's really exciting and really bullish for Omri. Now, it's not necessarily going to happen that all these things come true, okay, just so you know. When Alfred was talking, this was way back in 2018, and not everything was obviously confirmed then, and I guess he was talking about stuff that might happen in the future, but a lot of it has already happened, and therefore I thought I'd go through step by step roughly what he said, just in case you didn't see it. So the first thing was he said that they had the Fortnite license. So I think that's absolutely brilliant. He said that we've already spoken to Fortnite, we're getting them on board, and blah blah blah. So that was the first thing that stuck out to me straight away. Again, this could have all changed, just like we thought we had Hello Kitty, but now that's changed, isn't it? And now Recur have got it or whatever. So and I guess it just depends on what happens in the from that time to this time, essentially. So everything changes. So bear that in mind when we're listening to all these things. But these are sort of just speculation, really. Walmart exclusive deals. He said that the idea was to get exclusive deal with Walmart for about 6 months to put Ecomi in there, and then once Walmart were happy with how it went, they would basically put it in there for free. They would put in the cards or whatever, he said, and then people would buy the actual the wallet itself, and then they're essentially getting a free collectible. We sort of know about this anyway. Reese has sort of alluded to it in AMAs and stuff like that, but Alfred Kahn basically talked about it there. He said that was the plan, to get it in Walmart. You give them a deal on it, and then that way, once other companies then see that it's working in Walmart, then the tidal wave would happen. And this is exactly what he did with his Cabbage Patch dolls. They went out and they actually did naming ceremonies in towns around America, and he tells all these stories inside the video. It's a great video to watch. It's just a shame that they've taken it down, so I don't really know why that is, but maybe they wanted to keep it secret, which is a bit ironic because I'm now just telling you all what was in it. Anyway, Warner Brother movie props. He said that they have the rights to all the Warner Brother movie props, including Harry Potter, or no, maybe it was just Harry Potter, but either way, he said that they're doing movie props, so therefore it's not just the collectibles that we got at the moment, it's going to be movie props, so actual props from the movie. They've got the rights to be able to create those and to sell those. those as NFTs. So if you want to get yourself a Harry Potter wand, if you want to get yourself a broom, I wonder if you'll be able to hold on to the broom and make it look like you're flying. I don't know how that will work, but that'd be pretty cool if you could. But anyway, so yeah, Warner Brother movie props, which is pretty cool for Harry Potter. Boba Fett, he said that one of the biggest collectibles for Star Wars is the Boba Fett that was literally brought out, and it was only used at a trade show, and people fight to try and get this thing. It's like worth stupid amounts of money. But the good thing is, the way that Veve works is they could actually bring out this Boba Fett, an exact replica of it, and you know, thousands of people could have it, versus the one or two that were available, or I'm not sure how many were available. I don't remember if he said or not, but he basically said that it was brought out as a trade show thing only, and then it wasn't released as a toy, and that way it makes it more scarce and more rare, so more people want it. And he said that basically, with the way Veve works, they could bring out that Boba Fett if they wanted to, and you know, thousands of people will be able to have it finally. So you know, he was talking about that one specifically, Boba Fett. But obviously, we know we've got Star Wars now anyway. So Veve gift cards, again, this has sort of been alluded to even. But he basically said that, you know, how Apple, if you want to get something for Christmas or something, you can just you say to your, you know, your granddaughter or your grandson, oh, what do you want for Christmas? And then they just say, oh, just get them anything from Apple. So basically anything from the App Store or whatever. Well, now people will be able to buy the Veve gift cards in the shops, and then they will be able to use those Veve gift cards. So just like the Apple ones, just like Amazon ones or whatever. And that is the plan in the future as well, along with the retail sector. What else did he talk about? He also talked about jewel-encrusted Barbies. Now, I'm not sure why he alluded to this, but he said about the fact that you could actually make anything in this virtual reality environment. So, sorry, not virtual reality, augmented reality environment. He said the reason they chose to go down the IR route rather than the VR route is because of the fact that people have their phones, and people use their phones every day, whereas with VR, people don't really use them that much. There's no one solution for everything at the moment. So they started off in AR for that particular reason. And he's right. You know, with the VR, you can do Oculus, you can do, you know, on your phone with Google Cardboard, you can do all those things, but they're not all compatible with each other, just like computer game consoles. So therefore, is it possible that in the future something like that is going to come out? Maybe that's going to be the Oculus when Meta takes over from it, or starts bringing it out for Facebook, or, you know, maybe it's going to be something else. Who knows? But the point is, or maybe it's going to be something to do with Apple. But either way, that wearable technology is all coming in the future, but it's not here now. But what is here now is the phones, and the fact that you can have the AR on your phone, and that is what they're capitalizing on. And that's what he said they were planning on capitalizing way back in 2018. And this jewel encrusted Barbie is the idea is that kids can have, you know, just a diamond encrusted Barbie, and it wouldn't cost you the same amount as getting a Swarovski encrusted Barbie or whatever. It would just be the fact that they have it as a, you know, as a thing essentially. So you know, it's pretty cool stuff that they were forward thinking way back in 2018. French collectibles geo-locked. Now, we already know that we have, and not just French, by the way, but the reason I bring up French is because we have the Little Prince. They said that there's going to be a lot of things coming into the app that are just going to be specifically for the French. They even said that they've got an Australian kids TV channel on board already, and there's going to be specific collectibles for them as well from their shows. So not necessarily are you going to understand what they are in America, or even, you know, wherever you are, you know, in China, for instance, when it gets when something comes out in China, they're not going to understand the French collectibles, and they're not going to be interested, but the French people will, and that in turn will mean it's a global market rather than it being you know, just the American market and the English market, which it kind of is at the moment because there's no languages. So when those languages get unlocked, then there's going to be a lot more geo-locked collectibles. There's going to be a lot more collectibles specifically based around those IPs that are really popular in those countries, rather than it just being, you know, stuff like DC and Marvel and stuff like that is popular all over the world. It's going to be a lot of geo-locked collectibles that are only popular in those countries and specific to those countries. So that's kind of interesting as well. Advertising on TV. He said that he's got his very own video on demand service. He is the guy who runs it or owns it or whatever it is. And basically he said, do you think we're going to advertise Veve on that service? Of course we are. So there you go. So advertising on TV will be coming very, very soon. And it will be in the form of, I guess, like adverts like we have on YouTube, but the video on demand. They'll be putting adverts in for Ecomi. So they haven't even begun to scratch the surface from what we can gather. And not only that, also Disney movie tickets. He specifically talked about Disney wanting the idea of of being able to sell a movie ticket and then get the collectible as a free collectible as well. Now, this isn't, you think about it, way back in 2018 is when they were talking about this. We saw the first instance of this just a little while ago with the new Spider-Man movie. Now, it wasn't Veve that did it, obviously, but it's no stretch of the imagination that Veve couldn't do this as well. So, therefore, and they were talking about this way back in 2018 in this secret hidden video, shall we say. But there you go. So that was pretty much as I got up until that point. If there was anything else that you think was really important that I missed and you managed to watch the video, then do let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. In terms of other stuff he said, he was talking about his relationships with Walmart, how he went to their Christmas party. I believe that's what it was. I'm all paraphrasing here from memory because of the fact I was literally listening to it and then I had to go and do something. And as I said, it was gone by the time I came back. So it's not like I could re-listen to it and pick out the important points of it, which is really frustrating. But, you know, that's the main important parts that I can think of. And it makes me really bullish on Omi. I'm really excited for the future. There you are. That is the end of today's video. Thank you very much for joining me, as always. I was going to do a little rundown of how to play the Epico Regal game. And I did put it in this video, essentially. But then I realised that the video was so long because it was actually complicated to explain. So therefore, I've done a separate video on that. So if you are interested in playing the Epico Regal game, which may or may not have Omi in it in the future or whatever, we don't really know, then feel free to watch the next video that's going to explain all the little ins and outs of how to play the Epico Regal game, so that way you can join in with it as well. But thank you very much for joining me. As always, don't take this as financial investment advice in any way, shape or form, because crypto can go up and it can make you loads of money, or it can go down and you can lose your shirt, but that is essentially crypto. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye for now.